established under the Bush administration collaborated with a group of people to come up with a scenario in which they are calling for, and listen carefully to what I'm going to say, the death of 280,000 Americans on July 4th, 2025. In 1 month from today, there is a plan that involves the murder of 280,000 Americans on a single day. And the best part of it is they're going to blame a foreign actor for it, except for a tiny little problem. Yeah, if you hop down to page 9 of that National Blueprint for Biodefense, Seth, and highlight the first major paragraph under the U.S. House of Representatives, let's go ahead, for the sake of everybody on here, make sure that we read it. We were attacked, and we don't know who did the attack, but the infectious agent they used killed 280,000 Americans and infected at least 400,000 throughout the country in a single day, in addition to 200,000 dead and 800,000 sickened animals. Now, if you scroll up for a moment, Seth, and keep going until I tell you to stop, just keep scrolling, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. What you're going to find when you get to this page, oh, there you go. Look at ex officio members. If you look at the ex officio members of this particular committee, there are two names that I want to call your attention to: Gerald W. Parker and George Post. Those names are names that people should be familiar with, but they are not. These are veterinary scientists and scientists who have done an enormous amount of work in a variety of pathogens. George Post famously was very much involved in the Arizona contribution to the gain of function research that brought us COVID-19 and all of those kinds of things. And here we have the same actors. In this case, we have the ability to go into their research and find out what kind of pathogen would go after humans and animals on the same day. How do we figure out what that is? And it turns out that there are a bunch of options. Nipah virus is what they refer to in this scenario, but equine encephalitis, which is a huge problem, is something that these guys have been familiar with. And there are several other pathogens that these guys have been working with. And the fact is that they're telling us that on July 4th, on the celebration of the 249th year of America in its formation, we are going to allegedly have a biological weapons attack. And do you realize, Seth, that not a single person in law enforcement, not a single person in the White House, not Bobby Kennedy at HHS, not a Tulsi Gabbard at the DNI, not a single person is actually taking an action to interdict the actors that I'm talking about? This is not a problem that happened during the Biden non-presidency. This is a thing that is a statement of intent to once again take advantage of human dynamics. So where we are going to appeal to fear, we're going to appeal to this notion that somebody out there attacked us. Where we know already who the actors are, we have a high probability of knowing what they're going to say the pathogen was. And remember, these are not pathogens. These are weapons deployed against humanity. And as I've said many times, we can go back and look at the likely delivery mechanisms, which are rocket-propelled grenades that have blast-resistant pathogen concussive devices that allow a pathogen to be spread over a stadium, over a park, over any one of a mass gathering event, where you wouldn't know the difference between a firework going off and a pathogen ballistic device spreading toxins across a crowd. In fact, if I were going to do it, I would actually do it during the fireworks celebrations. So we know that this is actually a fully planned, fully baked, like you said, Event 201 kind of thing. And yours truly is the only one that started talking about it. And unfortunately, now this is the third show where there's been a conversation.
Hey, Shalom Hakim, Shalom, Shalom. This is your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Come with another lesson to the Spirit, and the Lord willing to be edifying to the Lord's elect. And before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahasham, V'chaha Kwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and who teach well. Shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, and that's pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. Shalom to the Akwath that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. To you Israelite foreigners out there who live among the heathen and who look like those heathen nations, but your lineage goes back to the progenitors of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel through the line of your fathers. I want to say peace and blessings to you all. Barak Atham. All right, let me get this started in the book of Joel, chapter 2. Verse 1, it reads, Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. All right. So, like I've alluded to before, you know what I'm saying? All that's needed at this point in time is one good event. All right, just one good event. That could be the case of an EMP. You know what I'm saying? It could be a case of, cyber attack, and it could also be in the case of a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? On a scale even greater than what we saw in 2020. You see what I'm saying? But as we the prophets have been tasked to do, is to give you warning of these things. You know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. All right. And it reads, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old, prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. All right, and we can clearly see that war is on the horizon with the escalated events that's taking place over in West Asia. All right. Then you also have to look at the evil times that we're entering into. All right, where people are losing their jobs, people are losing, their homes, the things that they held dear. You know what I'm saying? People are losing it. They're losing their minds. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, the different things that people are doing. You know what I'm saying? It's showcasing a lack of empathy. It's showcasing a lack of moral ground. You see what I'm saying? Moral compass. The scriptures say that iniquity shall abound. Because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. All right. And as brothers go into all the time, when you go into the Greek word for that word cold, all right, it's the Greek word suchos. All right. That's where you get psycho from. You know what I'm saying? People are becoming psychotic. You know what I'm saying? And especially in a country whose citizens rely so heavily on antidepressants and antipsychotics. All right, so not just dealing with wars and evils, but also pestilences. Okay? Pestilences. And what you heard in that video, you know what I'm saying, which I may have to edit that video a bit, but, and this is not medical information, you know what I'm saying, just going into the news, all right? And, the fact of the matter is that what that gentleman was reading from, it was essentially a whole script that he was reading. You know what I'm saying? Because this thing was planned. All right, it was planned years ago. All right. So what you're looking at right here, this is a chart on a particular website. You know what I'm saying? A particular website. This chart in question, all right, is no longer on that website. You see what I'm saying? So what you look at, what you see when you look at these different countries that's listed here, all right, this is what's projected to go down, all right, and this was in the year 2017 where this first came out, all right, and this was a forecast for the year, all right, 2025, all right, as you can see at the top. This was the forecast of the year 2025, and Slovakia, let me get that there. All right, but you look at all these different countries where the populations, Slovakia, I don't know what's going on with my phone. Bear with me. All right, Slovakia for that. But when you look at these countries of what's been projected back in 2017 of what would happen to the population in particular, all right, in all of these countries, they're affected in one way or the other, all right, in the year 2025. Okay, so it's showing that there's going to be some major event that would take place in the year 2025 that would trigger a global event. All right, where you see all these different countries. You can take a screenshot of these, right? Take a screenshot of this. I say this all the time when I showcase this chart, and this thing is doing it again. Slovakia. Yeah, so take a screenshot of this, man. You know what I'm saying? What I want to focus on specifically here in the United States, all right, is when you look at the current the current numbers of the citizens, you know what I'm saying? That's over 300 million. So that's 326.6 million people. All right, dropping down to barely 100 million. You see what I'm saying? And then when you look at that and compare it to all these different nations, right? All these different nations. So you look at the nations whose citizens drop significantly. You see what I'm saying? Let's look at this one right here. All right, this one right here. From 126.45 million to 103 million. You know what I'm saying? And that's where? That's in Japan. Okay? That's a significant drop. When you look at this one here, 62.1 million down to dropping down to 43.7 million. Okay? That's in where? That's in Italy. All right? 67.1 million down to barely 40 million people. That's in France. Okay? Then you got Canada. Canada here from 35 million, 35.6 to 26.3. Okay? Another one, 51.1, okay, down to 37 million. That's in South Korea. So the theme here, what you can see the pattern here. All right, check this out. 80.5 million, almost 0.6, down to 28 million people. All right, that's in Germany. So what all these nations that are the most impacted in the year 2025 by whatever this event will be, all these nations that are getting the most heavily impacted by this in a negative sense are all connected to the West in one way, shape, or form. All right. And a lot of that has to do with the US dollar as well. You see? So the most damage is clearly going to be here in the United States. All right. With whatever they got cooking, it's going to hit here. It's going to hit here the hardest. All right. And that's going to have a chain reaction throughout the entire world. You see what I'm saying? And those that are not connected to the West are going to fare more favorably. They're going to fare better, and at worst, they're going to get slightly impacted negatively. You know what I'm saying? Such as China, such as Russia, all right, and these different places like India, they're going to increase instead of decrease. All right, that's what's projected. You see? So something sinister is on the horizon. All right. So let me get this in the book of Ezekiel. All right, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7 and verse 15. Because one thing I noticed when you listen to the video is that what the guy was reading in that whole memo was that this so-called attack is not just going to affect humans, it's going to affect animals as well. You know what I'm saying? So why would they want to target the animals as well? It's because if you take out the animals, if you take out the cattle, right? Let's say the cows, the bison, the buffalo, you take out the deer, you know what I'm saying? The pheasants, all these different things. All right, what do we have to eat? You see? So a famine is going to result in that. All right, so Ezekiel chapter 7, say verse 15. It reads, "The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him." All right. "But they that escape of them shall escape, and shall be on the mountains like doves of the valleys, all of them mourning, every one for his iniquity. All hands shall be feeble, and all knees shall be weak as water." You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be a point in time where, you know what I'm saying, if you're in the cities, all right, it's going to be the most devastating. You know what I'm saying? We've all seen the movies, all right? We've seen the movie Leave the World Behind. You know what I'm saying? When all hell broke loose, that those two families were stuck inside that mansion or whatever that was, you know what I'm saying, that particular house that they were in. They were stuck out there in the woods. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't get back into the city. All right. And another part was that when you look at the one scene where the Tesla model cars were driving themselves and blocking the main entrance into the city. Right? So this is going into Second Esdras. All right, Second Esdras. Let's go to chapter 15. All right, Second Esdras chapter 15, verse 19. Verse 17. It reads, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." All right. So people are going to be blocked off, man, and there's going to be chaos in every city. You know what I'm saying? From state to state, city to city, county to district. You see what I'm saying? There's going to be chaos in every place. "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay, the famine. The famine is coming, man. All right. And with this much of a reduction, right? With this much of a reduction in population, okay, there's gonna be barely any men out here. All right. Let me go to 2 Ezra chapter 16. Let's start at verse 22. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Okay, so it doesn't matter how much you prepped. All right, you could be as proficient as Canadian prepper. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to do you any good. All right, if you're not covered under the blood of Yahushua, if you're not covered under the Lord, you see what I'm saying? You're through out here, man. You're through out here. You see what I'm saying? This is why the prophets have been out here teaching and giving the warning. All right. It says, for many of them which dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the others that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be so many bodies, all right? They're going to be out here in the streets like dung. You know what I'm saying? Like animal manure. You see what I'm saying? And it says they shall not be comforted, meaning they're not going to be buried, man. Nobody's going to bury them. It's going to be too many bodies. It's going to be too many bodies, man. And the death is still looming, so you don't have time to bury all these people. You know what I'm saying? You just got to leave them where they stand or where they lay, right? Salakia. All right, verse 24. It says, there shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men. Okay, and we've seen this in the scene, in the opening scene for I Am Legend with Will Smith. You know what I'm saying? Verse 27, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and the clefts of the rocks, man. All right. So when you think about a place, think about a place that's heavily, you know what I'm saying, heavily inhabited, like let's say Philly. You know what I'm saying? Philly. Let me look up something real quick. Bear with me. All right. All right. So I just asked the question, what's the current population in Philadelphia? And AI Assist says, as of 2025, the estimated population of Philadelphia is approximately 1,517,114. However, recent data indicates a slight increase, which estimates suggesting around 1,572,916 residents as of July 2024. All right, so you think of a number like that, all right, well in the millions, and it says that there shall be 10 of a city. Okay, so out of 1.5 million people, okay, it drops down to what? To maybe a couple dozen people, man. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine how frightening that would be? You see what I'm saying? How much of a, because this ain't gonna be no Hollywood movie. You see what I'm saying? It's not gonna be a Hollywood movie, man. It's gonna be the real thing. The real thing. Okay? And it's not, It's not a movie that you just sit through for an hour, 2 hours, and then you go about your day. No, this is going to be days and days and days and weeks. You see what I'm saying? And when they bring out that charagma, which will be the solution, they will bring this thing as the solution to your problems. Okay? And when they bring it out, the people are going to be so desperate, they're going to take it. They're going to take it without question. All right? But we'll know that when this thing is mandated, all right, we don't have much time left after that. World War III will reach its climax. And then we up out of here. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, that's pretty much what I wanted to grab because you know, a lot of people scoff at the prophecy of Isaiah chapter 4 verse 1, where it says 7 women in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. All right. Well, you can scoff at that all you want to, man, but when there's no food, when there's no water, when there's no provision, when there's nobody around to protect you, all right, we're going to see these women. All right, these women are going to run to a man. All right. You see, you can buck up against that now because you're proud, and your pride is based off of security. But that security is constantly fading away, man. You read Isaiah the 32nd chapter, the 9th verse. All right, read it on down, man. Tremble ye women that are at ease, because the scriptures say that the Lord is going to make a man more precious than fine gold. All right, that's Isaiah chapter 13. I believe that's verse 12. Okay, he's going to make a man more precious than fine gold. Let me get that real quick. All right. Bear with me, man. I hope y'all staying hydrated out there, man. All right, so this is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. All right. And, you know, Elder Apostle Tahar had just asked ChatGPT to break down, to break down what Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1 means. You know what I'm saying? And ChatGPT was bringing out the fact that there would be a cataclysmic event that would cause the desperate situation, you know what I'm saying, or shall I say the desperate nature of a woman to seek out a man. All right. So yeah, man. This is not something that's going to be you know, like it's not going to be something that you can just ignore. All right, everything is going to be affected. Everything from the finances, all right, to the economic status of people. You know what I'm saying? People's morals are going to be gone. They're going to be out the window, man. Out the window. Scriptures say that friends shall fight against each other, man, like enemies. Let me get that. 2nd Esdras, I believe the 6th chapter. All right, 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 24. And it reads, "At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear." What would cause a friend to fight against another like they're mortal enemies? You see what I'm saying? There's going to be a race war, of course. There's going to be a class war. It's going to be all types of stuff, man. But what's going to send people off the edge is going to be the lack of food, man. The lack of bread. There's going to be no food out here. You know what I'm saying? No food. And people are dropping, man. Bodies are hitting the floor. All right. So we don't, you know, let me finish this precept real quick. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. All right. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. You see what I'm saying? The end is near, man. All right. The end is near. You see what I'm saying? Lord willing, he protects us. You know what I'm saying? Those of us who are diligent in this faith, you know what I'm saying? Who are sincere in hope for salvation and in hope for the return of Yahushua. All right. Lord willing, we make it through these perils and to see the Lord's salvation. You see what I'm saying? But what's going to cause this madness to engulf the whole country and also the world? You see what I'm saying? It's going to be something big. All right, it's going to be something big, and like the dude said in the video, all right, they can blame it on anything. They can blame it on any foreign entity. You know what I'm saying? It's quite the coincidence. You know what I'm saying? Don't you think? Quite the coincidence that they keep talking about sleeper cells in the media now. Now they're just openly saying that there's these Iranian nationals that came through the border. You know what I'm saying? While you done had everybody focused on Jake from the northern tribes, you had everybody focused on these so-called Latinos, Hispanics. You see what I'm saying? Now you feel like talking about these other people that came through. All right. So this is how you know that they're gearing up for something big, man. They're gearing up for something big. All right. Hey, it's the perfect time they just hit Iran. You know what I'm saying? You don't find that suspicious? All right. So it's only a matter of time, man. We don't put a date on anything. You know what I'm saying? We don't say, we don't say this is absolutely going to happen on July the 4th. We don't say that. What we are telling you to do is remain circumspect. All right. And keep your eyes open. You see what I'm saying? We tell you, don't go to these big public gatherings, man. Don't do that. You see what I'm saying? Don't go to these big events and whatnot, man. Stay home. If you can help it, stay home. Simple as that, man. You out there getting your groceries, doing this, you know, going out there doing shopping and whatnot. All right, keep it brief. Keep it brief, man. Don't go around, you know what I'm saying, just browsing around. We're not in those times anymore. You see what I'm saying? We're not in those times anymore. You got to walk circumspectly. You have to be wise. The scriptures say a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. And we're telling you that evil is on its way. You see what I'm saying? Evil is on its way. So I'm going to cut that there, man. I pray this lesson was edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. This has been your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. In closing, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruchak, Wadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who teach well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.